Hello everyone, I'm Brian, welcome back. Let's go ahead and continue.
So that shows Vivekananda's great compassion and his great the desire to spread this saving spiritual knowledge, which comes from you know a person who just wanted to retire into meditation and spend the rest of his life like that.
He didn't want to do that. It wasn't until Sri Ramakrishna scolded him for that. But anyways, it doesn't deny him the fact that he has passion for it. And I wouldn't doubt he wanted to help. He just kind of got probably lost in the moment. It's like, this is too good to be true.
And that took him across the world, across the oceans, to these shores, to the United States, and you know the story: United States, Canada, then Europe, and so on. And that's why we are all here today. Really, it's incredible. The story is. Somebody told me, a filmmaker, he told me that, we really should have a film about Vivekananda the way Attenborough's film about Gandhi, at least of that quality. I said, we will, I'm sure of it. And maybe in our own lifetime we'll see that. Already some really good documentaries have been made in the last 2 or 3 years. One was released recently on PBS. So a full-length feature film, I'm sure, will come. It's so dramatic. It's so incredible.
Please don't let Hollywood do it. I don't, Bollywood neither. I don't know. Is it called Bollywood? We need, like, as true to the story as possible. Don't let Hollywood do it. I mean, unless there's, like, just funding, but someone who genuinely want to tell the story as true as possible. And not to freaking, because I would love to watch the story. Honestly, I am very curious. Is there a documentary actually out? That's not too boring. Most documentaries aren't really boring, honestly, but it depends on how they present it, though. But yeah, I would love to watch. I'm more of a watcher or audio listener than a reader per se. But yeah, a genuine, true story about Swami Vivekananda and his journey through life would be pretty amazing. Considering that I'm in the Vedanta, so I am very curious about it. I'd love to know the story. I would love to know essentially his experience in life. And I don't know how close to the truth they can get it, like especially his thoughts and everything. How he saw the world, and and his thoughts. The reason why his thoughts in particular, because they tend to be uncensored. You think about a lot of things you don't necessarily say, but you think them. I don't know if Swami Vivekananda was like that or not. I don't know if he spoke everything that he thought, or whether he kept some things to himself and said only what was necessary. I understand both ways completely. But yeah, I love watching documentaries. I love watching nature stuff, just because it's very fascinating. Too. Even some of the creepy stuff like hunting spiders, the fungus that get on spiders and ants that inspired one of us, alone of us, two of us, something of us. the video game and then the TV series. Anyways, let's continue.
The stories of Vivekananda. Anyway, I want to end with a little bit of what Vivekananda realized there
Oh, here we go.
in that confluence of the three rivers. Now, if you read the lecture which has been published in Jnana Yoga, it's called Macrocosm. When you read what Vivekananda is saying, if you sit there under that tree, or the clone, it's clone now, at the confluence of those three rivers, surrounded by towering mountains and forests, and you will literally see he's describing that here in New York in 1896. So it's a thrilling thing to go and read it there, because you're seeing what Vivekananda saw and using those things as example to teach back here. Let me read a little bit and I'll finish.
I wonder where they're at. It looks really nice.
So this is Vivekananda. This was in 19 January 1896 in the Vedanta Society of New York. The question is, what is all this? And by all this, remember, Vivekananda is sitting there under that banyan tree, surrounded by the three rivers and the mountains and the valleys there. As far back as the time of the oldest portion of the most ancient human composition, the Vedas, we find the same question asked: whence is this? When there was neither aught nor not, and darkness was hidden in darkness. He's translating from the Nasadiya Suktam, from the Rig Veda. Who projected this universe? How? Who knows the secret? And the question has come down to us at the present time. Millions of attempts have been made to answer it, yet millions of times will it have to be answered again. It is not that each answer was a failure. Every answer to this question contained a part of the truth, and this truth gathers strength as time rolls on. I will try to present before you the outline of the answer that I have gathered from the ancient philosophers of India in harmony with modern knowledge. So that's a very significant lecture, two-part lecture. In the third week of January, and then in the fourth week, the second part of that lecture. Sitting there, I recall these parts of the lecture. He says, take a little plant. You put a seed in the ground, and later you will find a plant peep out, lift itself slowly above the ground, and grow till it becomes a gigantic tree, which is sitting under actually. Then it dies, which it did, leaving only a seed or a clone. It completes the circle. It comes out of the seed, becomes the tree, and ends in the seed again. Look at a bird, and so that place is full of birds. Look at a bird, how from the egg it springs, lives its life, and then dies, leaving other eggs, seeds of future birds. Then the rivers in front of him. The raindrop in which the beautiful sunbeam is playing was drawn in the form of vapor from the ocean, went far away into the air, and reached a region where it changed into water and dropped down to its present form, to be converted into vapor again. So with everything in nature by which we are surrounded. Then the mountains, which is surrounded by. We know that the huge mountains are being worked upon by glaciers and rivers, which are slowly but surely pounding them and pulverizing them into sand that drifts away into the ocean. You can see the rivers. Where it settles down on its bed, layer after layer, becoming hard as rocks, once more to be heaped up into mountains of a future generation. That's the Himalayas actually. They were all underwater at one time. Even the tallest ones, they found fossils of sea creatures on the mountain peaks there. The whole thing was underwater. It's the Indian subcontinent plowing into the Asian continent, which is forcing up the mountain. We all learned this in school geography, you know. Again, they will be pounded and pulverized, and thus the course goes on. From sand arise these mountains, unto sand they go. If we know one grain of sand, we understand the secret of the whole universe. He's just giving indications of the tremendous experience which he had there.
I wonder if that that quote is said about if we understand one grain of sand, we understand the universe. Logically speaking, that doesn't make any sense. Excuse me, sorry. But it's clearly not meant to be understood logically, or should I say, literally. It's meant to be metaphorical. So, what is this one grain of sand? Because it's external, it's not pointing inwards. I'm assuming once you know to your true self, you understand the universe. It's, I don't know, for me, if you understand yourself, you understand yourself. You don't really have to understand the universe. It's not, understanding the universe is not going to make you enlightened. Understanding yourself will reduce your suffering. Is that going to make you enlightened? I don't know. I'm not enlightened, so therefore I don't know what it generally takes to be enlightened. I'm guessing once you know yourself, that's at least partially way there. So, understanding, I'll say understanding how the world works can reduce suffering too, because this is my logic here, is where if you understand why some things happen, you don't get frustrated because most of the time people are frustrated because they don't understand. And it's not because they don't choose to. Actually, that does happen quite a few times. But sometimes it's just because there's not enough information given, so they're frustrated. And there are times where they're frustrated, even though they know the answer, but they're still frustrated.
Worth reading. I will not read out the lecture. Out of what has the tree been produced? Out of the seed. The whole of the tree was there in the seed. It comes out and becomes manifest. So the whole of this universe has been created out of this very universe existing in a minute form. It has been made manifest now. It will go back to that minute form and again will be made manifest. This little cell, which becomes afterwards the man, was simply the involved man and becomes evolved as a man. If this is clear, we have no quarrel with the evolutionists, for we see that if they admit this step, instead of their destroying religion, they will be the greatest supporters of it. Now, at that time, the challenge of Darwinian evolution was very strong, as it is now. It's sort of accepted science now. What's the challenge? The challenge is this. All religions, at least theistic religions, trace this universe back to some divine source. God created this universe, etc., etc. But evolutionary theory, first modern cosmology and then evolutionary theory, finds no need of God. So with something like the Big Bang theory, you can explain the arising of the universe down to its present shape and form without any intervention by any kind of divine deity.
I don't know. Even for me, who's atheistic, agnostic, it's still difficult. It's like, how can something kind of come out of nothing? I don't know. I believe people who worship Shiva, and if I understood this correctly, Shiva is that which is nothing. I believe Sadhguru talks about it, unless I misunderstood or misremembered. But it's really weird to it's I guess it's mind blowing to think of how all of this exists, but how did it come to be? you know, without some form of creation. Has it always existed? That's kind of weird to think. It's like, how has it always existed? My mind's starting to go crazy right now, thinking about how the universe just exists without something creating it. Because it makes sense, everything in Earth, something has created it. What created me? My mom and my dad. What created this cup of coffee? I did. But not the cup, or the spoon, or the water, or the coffee. I mixed them, okay? But yes, generally speaking, things are created from something. That is easy, and that seems to be very much all over the universe. As something is created from something. But what created the universe? That is seriously, when I just a few minutes ago when I was thinking about that, my mind was going kind of it was feeling weird. I'll say that. It was feeling a little weird because I was trying to really think about it, how out of nothing came existence. Again, I'm sure there's some explanations in terms of religion, probably science, and in terms of Hinduism, but just me trying to think of logically in terms of science, it's, I don't know, kind of hard. And I know Neil deGrasse Tyson, I remember someone asking him the question, what came before the universe? He answered, at least the one time I've heard him answer that, it's like, there's no point in there's no point in asking that question because we don't know, and I don't think we'll ever know. And answering that question is not going to solve any problems we have now, which to me is kind of sad, but at the same time, he is not wrong. If we know where the universe comes from, I don't think that's going to really solve much of the problems we have today. Maybe it will. Maybe by being able to know how the universe was created, we're able to create more things that can help us. Maybe. Don't know, but just saying.
And by Darwinian evolution, you can explain how, more or less, how life came to be like this without any kind of divine designer. So this challenge of evolutionary theory to religion It is a tremendous challenge. And Vivekananda is saying, actually, it's not a challenge. It's fleshing out, giving more detail to the answer to that question, how did this universe come about? To that he only adds not only evolution from the seed to the tree, but again the involution back from the tree to the seed is a cyclical theory. From a seed state, this entire universe, cosmos has come. Up to this is science. But then also, he says, this will again go back. And this is the cycle of nature which you see all around yourself. Here he says religion, at least Vedanta, Sankhya, the Indian theories have no problem with it. I'm reminded of Monier Williams, the first, the one who wrote the first Sanskrit English dictionary, is an Indologist, British. So he writes that these ancient Hindus were Darwinians 1,000 years before Darwin. Not that they knew Darwinian evolutionary theory, but the ideas in Yoga Sutra, for example, Prakritya Purana, there is a sutra. In principle, there is no contradiction between evolution and Sankhya cosmology. So that's what Vivekananda is talking about. This involution and evolution is going on throughout the whole of nature. Anyway, final conclusion is a very soaring conclusion. So what is it that we see here? It is nature going from an unmanifest state to manifest state. This is the manifest state. But we'll also go back to the unmanifest state again. And from that unmanifest will arise again this manifest state. A bit like us in our daily cycle. This is our manifest state. Here I am, this person with my thoughts, ideas, personality. Here is my life, this world I inhabit. But from my perspective or your perspective, all of this will disappear tonight. When you fall asleep and the whole world disappears from you, your own body disappears from you, your own mind, memory, personality, everything disappears from you. But it's not gone. It's not gone. It's in what is called bija avastha, seed state. And it will sprout again next day when you wake up. And it's like a computer which goes into hibernation. It's not that all the data is lost. Everything is there. It comes back again. Similarly, this universe will again pop back into existence after maybe one cycle, then the next one. So the Hindus always believed in this cyclical theory. Again, I'm not one of those who is saying that, oh, we all knew it. There is a saying, Hindus sometimes say, Vedayase. That means everything is there in the Vedas. No, not in that sense. Not that modern science was known then. No, we know it. As Vivekananda says, the answer has been given in ancient ages, but it is being given with greater and greater strength and with more detail, more understanding, more profound answer. So science is giving us more depth, more knowledge, more detailed answer, more closer to the reality or truth. So this is one answer, one way of understanding. This is nature from a seed state to manifest state, from the manifest state back to the seed state, and so on. A deeper answer. What is this nature? Vedanta will say this nature, this whole cycle is an appearance in consciousness, in Brahman. Even further, not just an appearance, it is Brahman itself. So 3 answers. The Sanskrit terms are very concise and powerful. What is this universe? Prakriti Parinama, a transformation of nature from the seed state to the manifest state, from manifest state back to seed state again. That's answer 1. Deeper answer, Brahma Vivarta, an appearance of the ultimate reality. Third answer, ultimate answer which Vedanta gives, it is the ultimate reality itself, experienced in all these ways. See how poetically Vivekananda puts it. Everything that you see, feel or hear, the whole universe is, number 1, his creation, capital H, his creation. Or to be a little more accurate, his projection. Or to be still more accurate, is the Lord himself. Yeah, you see, Prakriti Parinama, Brahma Vivarta, Brahmaiva in Sanskrit. It is he who is shining as the sun and the stars. He is the Mother Earth. He is the ocean himself. By the way, he, it could just as easily be she. It could just as easily be it itself. He comes as gentle showers, which we had in the morning. I think it was nice because it was expected to be a really hot day. Turned out to be very nice. He comes as gentle showers. He is the gentle air that we breathe in. He it is who is working as force in the body. He is the speech that is uttered. He is the man who is talking, he is the audience that is here. You see? He is the platform on which I stand here or sit. Literally, you know. He is the light that enables me to see your faces. See, how can you get more vivid than this? In our ignorance, we think it's a platform. It's light. What is this Brahman, he? And that's the difference between us and the enlightened one. He is the light that enables me to see your faces. It is all he. I remember this story about the platform being Brahman. One of our senior Swamis was Swami Nirvananandaji. So an attendant of Swami Brahmananda. So when Swami Brahmananda passed, he blessed those around him near his deathbed. And he blessed Swami Nirvanananda. He said, you have attended to me faithfully all these years. I bless you. You will attain Brahma Jnana in this very life. You will realize Brahman in this very life. So later in life, he became the vice president of our order. And so many people, they attested to his towering spirituality, that he was enlightened. Very few, nobody had any doubts. Some of you may have seen him, some of you. I've seen him when I was a little kid, but I still have a very vivid impression of his face. Anyhow, a senior monk told me this story about Swami Nirvanananda. The senior monk said when he was a young novice, he was sitting in Swami Nirvanananda's room in Belur Math, in our main monastery. And Swami Nirvananda said to him, what do you see there? He said, that's a bed. A bed. What do you see under it? That's a trunk. I don't know how many of you know what a trunk is. Some of you may know, those from India, the earlier generation. They're big iron boxes. So, like modern suitcases, but not like them either, quite different. So, that's a trunk. A trunk. What's this? It's a table. A table. And then he started shouting, and another senior monk rushed in, thinking that the young novice did something wrong. What happened? And he says, the Swami Nirvananda asked him, this young novice, how long have you been a monk? He says, I said, this monk told me. I said, 2 years, 3 years. And the Swami Nirvananda was saying, oh my God, he's been a monk for 2 or 3 years, and he still sees this is a bed. He does not see it as Sri Ramakrishna. He does not see this, the trunk. He says it's a trunk. He does not see it as Sri Ramakrishna. He does not see this as Sri Ramakrishna. He sees it as a table. What will happen to him? And the senior monk consoled him. It will take a little time. It will happen to him. It will come to him slowly. And Swami Nirvananda shook his head dolefully. 3 years a monk, and he doesn't see God everywhere. So they were like that.
I mean, come on, give him a break, you know? How long did it take him? I honestly don't know. It takes a while, I guess. Everyone's a little bit different.
Swami Vivekananda says here, he is the platform on which I stand. It is all he. He himself is both the material and the efficient cause of this universe, and he it is that gets involved in the minute cell and evolves at the other end and becomes God again. He it is that comes down and becomes the lowest atom, and slowly unfolding his nature rejoins himself. This is the mystery of the universe, and our mystery also. This was the great question he had. What's all this? What are we here? Why are we here? And it's no use saying it's all Brahman. Then why would Brahman be this? So this is the answer he got. This is the mystery of the universe. Thou art the man, thou art the woman, thou art the strong man walking in the pride of youth, thou art the old man tottering on crutches, thou art in everything, thou art everything, O Lord. This is the only solution of the cosmos that satisfies the human intellect. In one word, we are born of him, we live in him, and unto him we return. It's a wonderful statement, actually. Our origin is divine, and to divinity we are going, and right now we are living in this ocean of divinity. It's all right. You're living on the lap of God. You're sitting on the lap of the Divine Mother, all of us, and we are forever secure. It is all right. Don't worry. And what's the song? Don't worry, be happy, or something like that. Very right. Yeah. Enjoy life. That was Vivekananda's thing. He says, if you cannot see this, he says, let all dreams cease. But if you cannot, then dream but better dreams, which are eternal love and service free. What's the highest kind of existence that we can have as human beings who are spiritual? Is to have unconditional love without conditions, without being loving one and not the other is getting trapped, samsara. Loving all in general, at least having that attitude that I am the well-wisher of all. My love extends to all and it's not denied to anyone. Doesn't matter if they're likable, unlikable, whether I know them or I don't know them, it's to all. And also expressed the life that I lead as much as possible, service free. Can I be a blessing to the life around me, my surroundings, a solution to the problems, not another problem myself.
I mean, that's kind of how I live my life. Everyone, and I've said this a few times in the videos too, where I give everyone a certain level of respect, or whatever it is, a certain level of kindness, a certain level of love, whatever it is. It's not like love like you love like a partner or a mother or a friend, just a certain level of respect, kindness, and then from there we go up or down depending on how you act. Because I give everyone a certain level, and then from there we go up or down. And also, there's there's no harm to being nice, and you could develop a lot of friends, and you can make your life a lot easier just being friendly. Because when people see you as something friendly, it is they become friendly to you as well. So there's friendliness can kind of spread, make your life a lot easier. And it's not, you don't go out there, it's like, well, I want to make my life easier, so there's a benefit to it. It just so happens to go that way. And plus, you get to talk and play around and joke around, all the benefits of just being friendly.
So this is Vivekananda's tremendous discovery in Almora under that huge banyan tree. If you ever happen to go there, I recommend you go and sit under the clone of that tree. Maybe a little bit of that spiritual realization sticks around there, and you can. Yes. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, I pray to the Holy Mother, and especially to Vivekananda. May he make us his parent, and make sure that this realization dawns upon us in this life, and our lives are blessed. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.
Okay. So, I wish he kind of talked about how the place, he was talking about how the place in Almora and in the Great Lakes were very similar. I've never been to the Great Lakes. I've never been to Almora either. So I don't know. I guess because the Great Lakes are perhaps rivers and mountains over there as well, and how essentially in most places you see what he says. Like if you have mountains, the mountains erode and grow from somewhere. Then if you have obviously, which is most places, plant life itself that will die, grow from seeds, and that cyclical cycle of death and rebirth. But yes, I kind of wish you explained Swami Vivekananda's realization, or not, maybe not realization, but his experience in the Great Lakes area as well, a little bit, just to see what he saw there, what he experienced there. Because again, I've never been there. Hopefully, a little bit of explanation from his perspective, and that would have been pretty nice. So anyway, that's my reaction to Swami Vivekananda's realization in Almora. Have y'all been over there? Has anyone been over there? I'm curious. I actually kind of want to look on the map to see if someone took a picture over there. I don't know if that's possible or not. But it would be pretty cool just to, because not a lot of people can make the trip, but it'd be just nice to have to be able to see it even in the picture format. So if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.